Hello boxing fans and welcome to the Champions Ring. In this video we will be talking about one of the strangest and puzzling scenarios that has ever taken place inside of a boxing ring. This involves two fighters, the three-time world heavyweight champion from England, Lennox Lewis, and the American boxer Oliver Mccall. These two boxers had two fights with one another. The result of the first fight saw Oliver Mccall dropping Lewis early in the second round, after which the ref quickly stopped the fight due to Lewis's weak and wobbly legs. This would be Lennox Lewis's first loss and saw him losing his WBC heavyweight belt to Oliver Mccall. Here's the footage of the first fight.
I thought it was by his own fight plan, but perhaps that's also the fight plan of Stewart.
And you know, Larry, down goes Lewis, having caught a short left hand inside.
6, 7, 8, 9.
What is this? The WBC's referee has stopped this fight after a count to 9 with Lewis standing in front of him.
Eventually, the two would meet again in the ring for a rematch. But before this rematch took place, Mccall was arrested due to his unusual antics outside of the ring. This included his vandalism and resisting arrest. He was also sent to rehab for drug addiction before the fight. However, his promoter Don King dragged him out to go and fight Lewis in the rematch anyway. In the second fight, Lennox comes out very strong, with Mccall barely landing a shot until halfway through the second round. Lennox appears much more dominant throughout this second fight. In the third round, Mccall drops his guard multiple times and tries to show Lennox Lewis that he's uninjured, but after this third round, Mccall refuses to return to his corner. He walks around the ring instead, refusing to sit down, and in the fourth, he comes out with his hands dropped, refusing to throw punches and even turning his back on Lennox Lewis. The ref eventually stops the fight to ask Mccall what's going on and whether he wants to continue fighting, and Mccall actually answers with a yes. However, he continues to walk around the ring with his hands down and doesn't throw a single punch. He just keeps dodging Lennox Lewis's shots. By the end of the fourth, Mccall again refuses to go to his corner, and he then begins crying and shaking his head uncontrollably. The fight is eventually stopped in the fifth by the ref.
2 rounds, I gave him another one, so we got 2 rounds in the bank, okay? I gave you one of them, the other one to him, okay? Working the jab, feeling all right? Just take your time, son, and start ripping him to the body a little bit now, okay? You should not push him back at him. You want to start pushing him a little bit more instead of moving back.
As Manny Stewart and Lennox Lewis plot their strategy, Oliver Mccall has not returned to his own corner after that third round. What in the world is he doing? Is this more psychological warfare? Georgie Benton, his trainer, is disgusted by it. If he has some type of game plan that he's putting forth, he hasn't told his own trainer.
It almost looks like he's a pro wrestler trying to play to the crowd, like for the benefit of the crowd, but Georgie Benton's obviously disgusted. I don't really know what Oliver's thinking by doing that.
So Oliver Mccall comes out after a very strange occurrence in between rounds. Round number 4 for the vacant WBC title. Now he's got his hands down near his waist, and he's backing into the ropes. I don't know if Lennox Lewis thinks he's playing possum or if this is for real. He's turning his back. Hey, protect yourself at all times. Why wouldn't Lewis just clock him here?
Lennox might not realize what's going on, but you know, it's not like Oliver Sugar Ray Leonard where he has those lightning reflexes. I don't think he could stop Lennox from blasting away at him right here.
I think Lewis is as confused as anybody is in this arena.
Well, he almost caught him with that big right hand there.
And now he engages in the fight. Maybe Mccall is playing possum.
He should throw punches. He's got his hands down.
Let's see what he does after this break here. He's shaking his head, almost as if he doesn't want to fight. Listen, this is a guy that has had a lot of issues outside of the ring. You know about the drug arrest charges. He's an emotional guy. He's a strange guy. And maybe it's just too much for him at this moment. But he is not fighting back.
You know, it's almost, you know, if he had a bad cut, they'd bring the doctor up to check him out. It's almost like maybe they should bring the doctor up and maybe something's wrong. Maybe
they need a psychologist to come up to the ring apron.
There he goes. That's what I'm looking for. Find out what's going on.
Mills Lane is asking him, do you want to fight? In one instance, he says no. In the next instance, he says yes. But he is not throwing punches against Lennox Lewis. The heavyweight title's on the line here. What is he doing?
I'm surprised Lennox hasn't blasted away at him with about 6 or 7 in a row. Lennox is almost like trying to figure him out. There's nothing to figure out. Let your hands go.
I can only imagine what a Roberto Duran, a Marvin Hagler, or a Mike Tyson would be doing to an opponent who is standing opposite them the way Mccall is standing opposite Lennox Lewis.
This fight would be over.
The disposition of Lennox Lewis as a masterful chessman is the only thing keeping Mccall in this fight.
You know what? He could let a bunch of punches go, let a flurry go, and the referee would have to stop the fight, or Mccall would be forced to fight back. But
I agree with you because he's not defending himself.
He'd have to stop the fight.
You would have to stop it if you threw punches at him. And now McCall's raising his head. This is possibly, in a sport that is full of oddities, the strangest thing I have ever seen.
Mills Lane should stop it for a second and ask him. Maybe bring the doctor up. What's wrong? You know, is your foot broken? Do you have a bad headache? Maybe he has something wrong with his head.
His psyche is broken. That's what's broken. He just went through 3 minutes of not engaging in a fight.
He looks almost like a little kid being punished.
And once again, he's not returning to his own corner. Could you imagine being Georgie Benton, his trainer, in complete disbelief? This to the plot. Oliver Mccall is now crying. Let's listen in.
Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, man. Come on. Thanks a lot. Come on. Sit down. Come on, sit down, man. Sit down.
Oliver, sit down. Now, you want to fight? Huh? You want to fight?
Yeah, you want to fight. Come on, man.
Second down. You can win this fight.
Take his boy out here. Come here.
Will he go out and fight this 5th round?
Fight this stuff. This is for your dog, man. Take this guy out here.
He lingered through the 4th round, refusing to engage with Lennox Lewis. Will he even fight in this 5th round?
They should have stopped this fight in the corner. It doesn't take a genius to see something's obviously wrong with him, and he's vulnerable, very vulnerable to getting hit with big shots. Lennox is a huge man with a big power. If he lands a good shot on this guy right here, this could be something very tragic.
Listen, I get where Mills Lane, the referee, is coming from. People have come, they've paid good money to see a heavyweight title fight. He wants to keep the fight alive. But you have to be physically fit and mentally fit to engage in this sport. And there's no doubt about it that right now, Oliver Mccall is not mentally fit to engage in a heavyweight championship fight.
These people didn't pay to see an execution, you know? Something's not right.
That's it. That is it. The fight is over. Mills Lane, at this point, left with no other choice.
As you can see, this was a very weird occurrence to happen in the ring, and it left a lot of people asking what happened to McCall to make him act like this. Well, after the fight, McCall attempted to explain his actions by saying this was his intended plan. He wanted Lennox Lewis to believe he had given up, wasn't going to throw punches, so that he could sneak in a punch and hopefully knock him out to win the fight. However, the most likely story is that he was suffering from withdrawals. He's had multiple rehab stints and has had many troubles regarding drugs and legal repercussions. He's got arrested twice for possession of crack cocaine and once for cannabis, and he just had a lot of troubles outside of the ring with drugs and getting into trouble with the law. It's mainly Don King's fault, I would say, as he pulled him back out of rehab to go into this fight when McCall clearly was not emotionally ready for it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and subscribe if you want more boxing videos like this. Thank you.